Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video we're going to look at a tank that I haven't actually played for a very long time. It is the Chieftain Mk6, the British, the British heavy in tier 10. It's a beautiful tank. It is the Beautiful Brit. It's one of the best looking tanks in the game. I'm not going to lie. Even with the camouflage, I think the camouflage suits the tank. And I just think this tank looks absolutely fantastic. Does it play as fantastic as it looks? Yes and no. It can be yes and no to this answer. The tank itself is a really good tank. Of course, there are some weaknesses with the tank, but there's some weaknesses with a lot of tanks, and this is like any other tank. The turret on this tank is very strong. However, you do have that hatch on top that is very weak. So your turret is overall 350 millimeters thick. That is one of the strongest in the game. Now, if you didn't have that hatch, this tank would be completely OP, completely. In a hold down position, it's almost impenetrable. Now, the whole armor on this thing is not so strong at just 127 millimeters. So, already looking at that, you can see you need to get yourself on a ridge. And if you do get yourself on a ridge, you need to try to hide that hatch. Look up, put your gun up in the air, wiggle backwards, forwards as much as you can to try and hide the hatch on top of this tank. The DPM 2,945. Now, you can get that a little bit higher. However, we are running this tank with calibrated shells. Actually, to be honest, I don't know why I'm running it with calibrated shells. Because you've got AP, and AP, you don't have the heat, so you don't gain that much from running calibrated shells. However, the main reason I am running it with calibrated shells is because of the HE, the HESH or HE. You have 121 millimeters with calibrated shells, so that's the main reason that I do run it with calibrated shells, just to get that higher HE pen, because that can come in handy. To have that high pen. So you've got a 400 alpha gun on your standard APCR. On your premium APCR, you have 360. You've got 515 damage alpha on your HE. So again, if you can get that HE out, then do so, because you will dramatically increase your DPM. So your aim time very good at 2.8, and your dispersion is decent at 0.308. You have a very nice 10 degrees of gun depression as well. So you need to try and use that gun depression. You have to try and use it. You have to try and get on a ridge. It's a very fast tank as well for what it is at 42 kilometers per hour. But overall, it is a very nice tank with some weaknesses. But again, all tanks have their own weaknesses. So this, I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the Chieftain Mk6. There is other tanks that could perform better. The Super Conqueror. I probably prefer the Super Conqueror nowadays, because it does have a stronger turret. It doesn't quite have the hatch that this tank has got. But for looks, definitely the Chieftain Mk6 is one of the best looking tanks in the whole of the game standard. Like, it looks amazing. So we're going to have two battles just to show you what this tank is actually capable of doing, and to say if I recommend buying this tank when it is in store. So we're going to watch this game, and then at the end we'll decide whether or not this tank is worth trying to get if it does come for sale. Now, when it does come for sale, it is now for gold, because it has been around quite a long time. So yeah, we'll have a look at that towards the end. So one kill there. I mean, I'm playing like a noob lately, because I don't play as often. I find myself playing like an absolute noob. Sometimes I watch the replays back, like if I'm making a video, and I'm like, why did I do that? I've got no idea why I do certain things, whether or not it comes with age, but definitely, with age, I am getting, I'm getting worse. I am getting worse. So I'm going to go behind now. Now, I could have gone left here. I could have gone back towards the Chieftain Mk6 who was on his own. And yeah, I could have traded with that guy. But I thought it was better off that I ignore that Chieftain Mk6. He is around, and yes, he's probably going to deal with my STB, but I thought it was better for me and the team if I get behind the two guys that was over here, or the three guys, because you had the FV4005, then you had the T57, and now obviously we have the E75. So I thought as a team, yes, my STB might not survive there. I mean, he's doing all right surviving at the moment, running away. But yeah, I thought it was better for the team if I just ignored the Chieftain and come for these guys. And so far, it has worked out. You know, we've killed a couple of guys. We killed the FB4005. We killed the T57. And together, we have now killed that E75, which now leaves just the Chieftain who the VK has taken care of. So I did it for the team. And sometimes you got to think that, like, if I would have went for the Chieftain, then yes, I would have probably lost quite a bit of hit points. Maybe I would have killed him. Yes, I had the support of the STB as well. But I just thought for the team, it was a lot better if I went behind the enemy. Because not only that, but I could get the Hesh out as well. And I could do a big amount of damage. And I could clear them guys quicker. So, yeah, I'd done it for the team. Definitely done it for the team. And it paid off because we end up winning the game. This game, we're going to watch Danger. We're going to watch Danger. And he is going to perform very, very well. And a battle like this does go to show what this tank is actually capable of doing. When you put it in the right position, again, a lot of tanks now is all about positioning, especially in tier 10. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses, and you've got to play that to their advantage. You know, if you're in a tank that's got a decent, or not even a decent, a very, very good amount of gun depression and a very, very strong turret, then you obviously need to only show your turret. And whether you do that on a ridge or in a position like this guy was just here, hiding his hole, you've got to find that position. Now, not always are you going to be able to use that position because it all depends on the enemy team. Just like this game here. He's not able to stay in that strong position he was at because the enemy are not around. So he's going to use his mobility instead. So yes, he's not got the armor. If he gets caught out in the open, then yes, you're going to get ripped apart. Your upper plate on the tank is actually very, very strong. However, your lower plate is where this really does suffer. Again, this guy's trying to use the HE, unfortunately, against the Hori. Is not going to pay off. However, he does get a very nice fire, doing 676 damage. So yeah, it's a very, very quick tank. I would try to not get caught out in the open, because that is where you will really, really struggle with the tank. If you're in the open, yes, it's got DPM, yes, it's got speed, yes, it's got some armor to some extent, but it's definitely a tank that you do need to be very, very careful of. Now, this game, the enemy are tearing the green team apart. It's now a 4 versus 6. However, the T100 here and the Chieftain are both going to deal with the VK90. 2 versus 1. I mean, the T100 could potentially start getting behind this VK, but again, the Chieftain here, you can see he's on a ridge. He's trying to bait his shot, and I mean, it works because he completely misses. He's going to go for the track. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get the track. But so far, he's on 2,400 damage. This guy is now down to a 1-shot, and again, if you're going to try to bait some shots, just remember that you do have that weak hatch on top. Always remember that weak hatch, because you're thinking, some people look at the turret and think, wow, this is a very, very strong turret. Yes, it is. But if you give them time to aim at that hatch, I mean, this kind of position, this standard B's got no chance. I'm not going to lie. He has got absolutely no chance trying to get that hatch because of the position he's in. So, yeah, there is some situations where you can get on a ridge and it's almost impossible for the enemy to do anything about it. So he's now going for this guy. The Sheridan is very low hit points. They've also got the Vickers Cruiser somewhere around, and it's now a 2 versus 4. And again, look what he's trying to do. He's on the ridge, but again, if you are on this ridge and you're trying to bait a shot, you need to bait that shot. Don't just sit there and give them the opportunity to do damage, because they will aim at that hatch and they will be able to penetrate that. So far, this guy has done a remarkable job. Unfortunately, as I say that, he does do kind of a bad shot there, but I can see what he was trying to do. So 4,800 damage. Again, because of that gun depression, he's able to get that gun down enough to get the shot onto the AMX's hatch. That now brings him to 5.2k damage. He's on 2 kills, and it is a 1 versus 3. He's just going to sit here, because if the Sheridan comes around, he's a 1 shot, and again, he does get a nice bounce. Now he can ignore the Sheridan for now, because he knows he is on a reload, and again, he can try to go for that hatch on the AMX. Now he has the upper ground. He does have the upper ground on these 2 guys. Both of them are a 1 shot, so he's not in any rush to move on. If the Sheridan wants to come around, then he can come around, because he's just going to get ripped. And if the AMX wants to start pushing, he can also get ripped as well, because the AMX has got to remember, he also has a weak hatch. Yes, he's got a very strong turret, but he does have a weak hatch. What he's not got to do here, what he's got to try not do, sorry, is get caught out and going for the AMX with the Sheridan sort of having the side shot. And there is that Object 777 there, which is one of the best tier 10 tanks also there. But what he didn't understand, or what he didn't know at the time, is that Object 777 has, luckily, yes, I say that lightly, luckily has gone AFK. So he's going to ignore him and, of course, go for the Sheridan. Now, with 2 minutes left on the clock, there are some people out there, if they were on 5.5k damage at this point, they wouldn't care about the win. They would probably ignore the Sheridan and just farm damage on the AFK. Now, no idea why that Sheridan didn't run away. I mean, I know he was trying to, he wasn't spotted, he was trying to get him, but sadly for the Sheridan, it didn't pay off, and he is now dead. So our guy has 1.5 minutes to get into position and farm an AFK. Now, this guy is full hit points. He's absolutely full hit points. So yes, he's AFK. He does get very, very lucky because of the AFK. But what this tank has got, like we said at the beginning, he's got Hesh. He's got Hesh, which can push your alpha really, really high, and it could push your DPM to well over 3,000. So even though he's still got a minute left on the clock, with the Hesh, he's going to do 500 plus damage every single shot. So he has more than enough time to absolutely farm this guy. So he's going to get the shot. I personally would have just gone behind him, but no, he wants to make it difficult and get the Hesh into the turret. So 830 hit points. He's going to wait. The ammo rack is damaged, and 540. He's now a 1 shot. Look, all them module damage, and he is going to end with a nice ammo rack. So that is what this tank is capable of doing when you're up against AFKs. But on a serious note, like, yes, he did get lucky there, but the tank, when it comes for sale, it does usually come for sale for around 20,000 gold. So yes, it's pretty much the standard price for a tier 10 tank. And if you've got 20,000 gold sitting around, I would say that yes, this tank is absolutely worth that price. Very, very good tank in the right hands. Looks fantastic. And yeah, I'm pleased it's a British tank, and especially with the British flag on top as well. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the Chieftain Mk6 Royale. I'm Meadsy. Tank Fest tomorrow, so I'm not sure if there's going to be a video tomorrow or not, because it is a very busy day. I've got to leave at like 4 AM in the morning for a nice 4-hour drive down to Bovington Tank Museum. So those of you that are going Tank Fest, I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody else, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. With